Hare Krishna. Welcome back to the Krishna Conscious Corner. Today we are going to be learning about the story of Sri Radha Kalachandji, who are in Dallas, Texas currently. So let's get started. So, 500 years ago, the story is as follows. 500 years ago in India, Kalachandji, literally translated as the beautiful moon-faced one, was worshipped as the supreme personality of Godhead by thousands of devotees. Impeccable craftsmen constructed an elaborate temple for him. Famous artisans decorated it, accompanied by drums, cymbals, tamboras. His followers filled the halls with melodious prayers throughout the day, and the air was sweet with myriad varieties of richly fragrant incense. Daily, he was offered sumptuously prepared foods of all descriptions made from the grains, milk products, and fresh vegetables. Everyone, from the king to the street sweeper, visited Kalachandji, paying respects and obeisances. No one could imagine passing the day without having his audience. From one generation to another, the tradition continued, and then suddenly the Mughals invaded India. Fearing for Kalachandji's safety, his devotees hid him from the plunderers, and thus the opulence and worship that he had formerly enjoyed all but came to an end. With grief in their hearts, his followers prayed for the day when his true position could be established again. Centuries later, the great devotee of Krishna and founder of this palace, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, arranged to have Kalachandji brought to America, where he had a large temple building in Dallas. And so it was that the beautiful moon-faced one found a home in a new land. At the outset of 1972, Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of ISKCON, he instructed two of his lady disciples, Kaushalya Devi Dasi and Srimati Devi Dasi, to travel to Jaipur, India, to secure marble deities for his Denver, Detroit, Montreal, and Dallas temples. Kaushalya had been living in India for the last 2 years, and Srimati, having just arrived in India, saw her as a perfect guide and a companion. Arriving in Jaipur, while attempting to check into a hotel, Srimati realized she had forgotten her passport in Delhi. The hotel receptionist made a special note of this and agreed to let them stay. The next morning, after having attended Mangala Arati for Sri Radha Govinda, the famous deities of Srila Rupa Goswami, Kaushalya began singing bhajans for their lordship in the temple. At this time, a large crowd gathered to see the American devotees, perhaps for many of them the first time they had ever seen foreigners worshipping Radha Govinda. Kaushalya was not only able to sing, but ended up lecturing about Srila Prabhupada to her audience. They were also fortunate enough to meet one of the pujaris of Sri Radha Govinda. Later, returning to their hotel room, they were met by the police who were ready to arrest them. Having been informed by the receptionist that Srimati had no passport, and rightly so, the India-Pakistan war had just begun, with India siding with Russia and Pakistan siding with the US. So, what right had an American to be in India without any travel documents? Eventually, all this led to the ladies calling upon the pujari of Radha Govinda to vouch for them. The pujari, arriving upon the scene, recalled their singing and preaching and proclaimed that they were actual devotees. Not only did he vouch for them, but he ended up sponsoring them and inviting them to come and stay in his home with his wife and family. The police finally relented under the condition of the devotee ladies would not leave Jaipur until Srimati's passport was sent from Delhi and presented before them. Through the pujar, Srila Rupa Goswami seems to have assisted Srila Prabhupada and Kalachandji. What seemed to have been a tragedy unfolded into a great opportunity as a pujari began introducing the ladies to men of many of his respected families of Jaipur and instructing them on how to obtain the details they had been sent to look for. Mother Kaushalya recalls, I simply began telling everyone I met about Srila Prabhupada and chanted to Radha Govinda. Gradually, by Srila Prabhupada's and Radha Govinda's mercy, people became so enthusiastic that recognized local industrialists, businessmen, and even the Maharani of Jaipur were inviting us for lunch to hear about Srila Prabhupada. Many of them became so interested in meeting Srila Prabhupada that they sponsored Srila Prabhupada to come to Jaipur and organized a large pandal program in which Srila Prabhupada installed the Radha Govinda deities of New York City and awarded sannyasa to His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami, Hari Bol. It was during that time that Srimati found her way to some of the finest murtiwalas of Jaipur. By the way, murtiwalas means like people who make deities, like carvers or people who make deities basically. Srimati recalls how pleased Srila Prabhupada was. She remembers, I was walking from shop to shop thinking what type of deity would suit Dallas, Texas. Suddenly I saw this beautiful deity. He had a large round face and fine soft features. As soon as I saw him, the first thing that crossed my mind was that this is the deity of Dallas. The deity was holding the door of a showroom open, having been placed as a doorstop. The deity looked ignored, completely unkempt, and nothing like the deity she had previously seen for sale. As she approached the man in charge of the shop, he explained that this particular deity was not for sale. This deity is very old, said the man, and he tried to interest her in other newly carved deities, describing and pointing out the newest styles. Srimati simply became more determined and continued pursuing her original interest. Looking at the deity again, the man kept saying that the deity was very old, more than 500 years old, some type of museum piece. Srimati continued requesting the man to give her the deity, explaining that the deity would be sent to Dallas. Finally, she began talking about money. As the price became more lucrative, the man finally consented. As there was a deity of Radharani to match, Srimati started looking at other deities and had the Murtiwala carve a suitable one to complete the set. Previously, Srila Prabhupada had written Srimati directing her how to pack the deities she was shipping to guard against breakage. It was Mother Lokamni who received the telegram from Mithaheli Devi Dasi explaining that deities must be waiting in New York. Anxiously, she and her husband Jagadish Prabhu called Mithaheli and located the deities along with two other sets of Radha Krishna deities, which were meant for Detroit and Montreal. They dispatched the deities to their respective temples. After installing the deities in Dallas, Srimati recalls how pleased Srila Prabhupada was. Prabhupada had even handwritten a document after the installation. Shri Radha Kalachandji, the deity of Dallas, Ki Jai! A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai! So that was the story of Shri Radha Kalachandji. I really hope that you enjoyed this. And once again, comment in the comment section, please write Shri Radha Kalachandji Ki Jai, and support us by liking this video, sharing it with your family and friends, and subscribing to our channel so that you can be the first one to always watch our videos. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.